Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire symposium. My name is Nav,
And I'm Harmit.
and this is a Game of Thrones, chapters 23, 24, and 25. Daenerys, Bran, and Eddard. In these chapters,
We see what goes on past the Dothraki Sea.
that's so bad.
I don't care.
That only includes one of the chapters.
I'm not coming up with three or something that
Okay,
sums.
fine. Mine's not better, but at least includes all three. In these chapters, I was going to say Daenerys, but then in my notes I had written Dany, and then I was so confused.
Oh my gosh.
In these chapters, Dany learns to ride, Bran learns that he will never ride, then finds out that he might be able to ride, and Ned talks to some people, I guess.
Wow.
There was nothing ride-related for Ned, so I was like, what does he do? Oh, he talks, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I probably need to find a new intro, but that's where we're at now. So, Harmith, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
I am Groot.
No.
So, what did you think of these chapters?
They were good. They were interesting.
I'm so excited. Okay. Continue.
They were interesting. I'm trying to think which one I liked the most. I think I liked Dany's the most.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so too. Honestly. Yeah, that's true. It was a good chapter.
Yeah.
So,
and we rarely see her. So it's nice when we finally see her.
Yeah, well, because she doesn't have other characters around her that see her.
That's true, yeah.
Whereas with them damn Starks, you got everyone except, I think, Robb and Rickon so far.
Yeah.
Imagine
oh my God,
Rickon's
yeah, I
POV.
keep forgetting. He's like, Robb, he's like, everybody's gone. Robb's gone right now. Bran's not able to play with me.
Yeah, wait, you were going to say I keep forgetting.
Wait, what? Oh,
that
I keep
Rickon
forgetting.
Is a person?
No. I keep forgetting that Sansa, we've already had a Sansa chapter. I keep forgetting that. Because we only had one, and then it just was okay, done.
It was that one fateful full chapter. Anyway, okay, so let's start summarizing. Okay. You ready? Okay. I'm gonna say switch at 30 seconds.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And whatever you get by then.
Oh my gosh. Every time we start doing these, I forget what's happened.
I'll wave my hand when it's a 10-second warning, okay?
Okay, good. Because
So
last time I had no indication, you were like, okay, you're done. I was like, wait, what?
But that made it funny.
Okay, but
you would get through the first page.
You need to help me.
I will help you. Okay,
cool.
All right. So, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Dany's riding Silver. She's really good at riding now. And Viserys is awful, and Viserys is being a bitch, and Dany's like, okay, he is just pitiful. Why was I ever afraid of him? And then, why am I literally forgetting everything? Dany's gonna have a kid.
Switch.
Okay, wait, what's the next chapter? Oh, Bran. Okay, so Bran, oh my God. Okay, so Bran's very unhappy. He's like, what the fuck? He sees the wolves running. He sees Rickon. He's like, I'm so sad. Tyrion makes it back. He's like, hey, buddy, how are you? Hey, do you remember anything by any chance? And then he, finds him a way to ride, and Bran's happy, and he's like, oh my God, Summer, we can maybe ride. And then Old Nan's stories, and this chapter made me cry. The very end made me cry. And Eddard, Eddard's talking to Maester Pycelle, and they're having a conversation about Jon Arryn. I'm surprised this didn't happen. Oh wait, never mind. He wasn't there. My bad. Anyway, so he's talking, and then he sees Arya, and him and Arya kind of talk about how, she has to walk on her toe or stand on her toe. And then, oh my god, who does he talk to last? He talks to someone last. This was like the most important part.
Littlefinger.
Oh yeah, and then he's talking to Littlefinger and he's like, you shouldn't trust me.
That's it.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh my god, I think that was my worst chapter summary. I literally couldn't remember anything. Usually, as I'm saying things, more...
Well, you remembered more than that one Bran chapter.
Okay, no, but usually, I like, as I'm saying things, I remember them. But, like, I literally, like, I was saying things, and I was like, more things aren't coming up in my brain.
You took notes this time, and I give you notes. You can just look through them. I don't know why you do
but
that's
that's
so hard
cheating.
on yourself.
I can't do that for the chapter summary.
Right, but when you're, like, forgetting everything.
No, that's called cheating. I don't cheat.
Okay, fine. Don't look at the notes.
Guys, this tells you how much I can't even control my brain.
So, you would say that these chapters made you happy and sad, and I don't know what Ned's chapter made you.
Ned's chapter was just like, okay, whatever. I don't know, just like nothing that I was like...
I mean, it's the most related to the main plot.
That's true. I think I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh. You know? He's like, oh, well, he got poisoned. Oh, like, I don't know. It's just not... I just feel like we've had so many Ed chapters.
Ned, well...
Yes.
That tells you something. I don't know what, but it tells you something. So, let's just get into it. Why even waste any more time? So, Daenerys, our dear 13-year-old, soon-to-be 14, maiden. Wait. Is maiden a thing when they're, like, not married? I don't know. Anyway, it's Daenerys. She's a child, okay? She's in the Dothraki Sea. And that's made of grass, because horses.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's all I got. What do you got?
Yeah, she just stops and she's like, ooh, pretty. And then, what's his face? Oh, Jonah comes up, and she's like, hey.
You keep calling him Jonah. It's Jorah.
Okay, Jorah. Okay, cool. So Jorah comes up because she's riding ahead of all of them because she's like, okay, y'all are slow. Anyway, so she's like, okay, she hears like Viserys coming up, and she's like, okay, tell everybody to stay here. I command it. And then,
well, hold on. She's thinking about all like the landscape and the people following her, and she remembers her brother. And she remembers the fact that Magister Illyrio offered him to stay with him, like, instead of traveling with the Dothraki. Yeah. But he was like, I'm gonna stay with Drogo until I have the crown that I was promised. Yeah, and buddy. So Dany's, like, not interested in hearing him complain and ruin the mood. So she's like, I'm gonna ride on ahead. Y'all can wait. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. And she tells Jorah, tell them to stay. I command it. So... that's good. She's, coming into herself a little. Mm-hmm. She's the Khaleesi now, and things are happening. She's, she rides out and she's thinking about how, her life sucked for the first bit when they were riding out, because, she's learning to ride and they don't have very comfortable saddles, so she has sores, and, her husband's not, like, really great company, and, she doesn't speak the language. It's just terrible. Yeah. And it's so bad at first that, one night she's like, I'm gonna kill myself tomorrow or something, until she has this dream. Do you remember this dream?
Yeah, she has this dream, and it's more dragons, but Viserys isn't that... Okay, wait. I can't remember it, so I'm gonna see what I wrote about it. Because that's what always happens. Okay, so Viserys wasn't there, which is interesting, but she has this dream, and she can see, like, her blood on the dragon's scales, and she's like, what the fuck? And then, I need to stop swearing on this podcast, I'm sorry.
No, you can swear, it's just that, like...
But I just feel like I don't want, like, a kid to be watching and be like, or listening, and be like...
Our thing has a explicit tag, so they have been warned, okay?
Oh, okay, good.
And also, did you, okay, obviously when you were not a child, but, ever since I was, 12 or 13, I've listened to things with swears, and it's...
I know. I know. That's true. Okay, whatever.
And, sorry, wait, one more thing. This is a tangent, but there's this... Have you seen... Okay, there's a new show on Netflix that's, all about the swear words, and I've just watched the first episode, but it's, really interesting, so... basically, we should swear more, so...
Oh, okay.
It helps
great.
relieve pain, and
That's
it reduces good feeling hormones or whatever things are released in your body when you swear.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's why when you're in pain, people are like, fuck!
Yeah.
Okay,
it helps.
Yes.
So, Daenerys, there's this dragon. It has her blood on it for whatever reason. Did the dragon hurt her? What happened there? What do you think?
Well, I was like, wait, what? But then after, it kind of she kind of embraces the flame, and she's like, it lets her, it cleanses her. Yeah, it cleanses her. And I was and then she's like, but I didn't feel any pain. And I was like, okay. So I don't know. I kind of think the dragon's taking her blood and giving her the dragon's blood. That's kind of how I'm taking it.
They are one and the same.
Yeah.
Perhaps she is the dragon.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we're waking up the dragon, it's not Viserys' dragon. So she does want to wake up the dragon because it's her dragon. He ain't got no dragon,
That's what you meant by
that's what I meant when I was like, his dragon ain't shit, because he's not a dragon. Because also, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know if this is me just going off track, but these were my thoughts. I'm here to share my thoughts.
Yes,
so,
share them, please.
Okay, I was thinking, so dragons, underneath their, scales, they're not just, all hard. They're soft underneath the scales, And Daenerys, has capability for feeling,
Right.
But then she also has this now she's developed this capability of this hard
fierceness.
Skin. Yeah, and, this, okay, I'm gonna find, some relief through the pain. I'm gonna find pleasure through the pain. Now she has this,
It's quite the metaphor you got going.
I don't know, it just happened. But I was like,
no, it makes sense.
But I was like, Viserys can't do that. He can't just call himself the dragon. Also, sometimes when you say you're something, chances are you probably aren't it, So.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we?
The dream, she, she wakes up feeling strong and new and fierce, and all of a sudden, she's good, her sores, go away, and her skin hardens, and she's used to riding all day now, and she's embracing the culture. She wears their clothes, she's learning the language, she is becoming one with this new culture, and she's assimilating. But Viserys, on the other hand, so we come back to the present where Daenerys is ridden off, and Viserys is mad that he was commanded to stop, so he comes at her, buddy. And starts being look at you, you're he says look at you as if to say, look, you're barefoot and in these Dothraki clothing, who do you think you are? But really what she's look at you, you're in your city tatters and silks and stuff, which is so not practical with the climate they're in. And it's Dany looks like she belongs, whereas Viserys sticks out like a sore thumb. So anyway, exactly. You narrate.
Yeah, that's true. But also, before we really get into it, I just want to say one thing. Kate, so she has silver hair, right? That's a thing. Because then silver also has Kate. So the lemurs also had silver hair and purple eyes, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's them.
Lemurs?
Yeah, the lemurs.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
It's an animal. And they mentioned it. They were like, oh, lemurs with
silver fur. In the forest, when they were going through it. Okay, sorry. I was was there a lemur in this?
No, when she was thinking about the past, and she was like, we went through the forest, we went through the, And I was like, oh, that's cute. I don't know, I enjoyed that. I feel like it probably has no relation, because why would a lemur matter? But I enjoyed that.
Right. Well, she calls her horse her silver. Because it's got the silver matching hair, so.
I love that everyone has, like, their own, like, animal, you know? Like, it's not just, like, oh, every house has a sigil. It's, like, every kid also has, like, their, like, physical animal, pet, accompaniment, you know?
Yeah, they have somebody to hang out with. A furry friend.
So cute.
Well, why?
I just can't hear the word furry without, like, I just
furry
can't...
friend.
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
you laughed at me like I had said something really.
No, I just. Anyway,
Okay, so
Jorah...
Viserys is, like, being very aggressive, and he's, like, hurting her, and she pushes him away for the first time ever in her life.
I was like, you
and
go,
he's
girl.
about to, like, you know, come at her when Jogo, one of her Dothraki, I don't know, bodyguards or, like, people that are always around her, comes out of nowhere and wraps his whip around Viserys' neck. Oh my god, I was so happy. I'm, like, generally a pacifist. Like, I don't have any place for violence in my life, but in this, I was all for it. Like, I can enjoy it in fantasy. Does that say
something about you?
What does it say about me?
Does it just say that you hate Viserys, or...
Oh, it says that I hate Viserys, but also that I may be you know, I don't like violence in real life, but I am all for it in fantasy. Which is, like, you know, maybe, like, you know, in fantasy, is like, do I really want people to be hurt? Is that my fantasy?
No,
like, do I just have a really aggressive side? I think it's
also, like, I don't know what, I think it's also because sometimes when things aren't real, sometimes you kind of do the opposite of who you are. Like in games and stuff, I spend all of my money in diamonds and gems as I get them. I would never do that in real life, but I feel like it's just satisfying to kind of be the opposite of who
do
you are.
Things that you always like. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I was happy when Viserys was choking on that whip. I was happy.
Yeah, and at this point, Dany's like, wow, I can't believe that I spent my entire life being afraid of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, gives you some perspective.
So, this is exactly what she says. He lay on the ground, sucking in air noisily, red-faced and sobbing. He was a pitiful thing. He had always been a pitiful thing. Yeah. Why had she never seen that before?
Yeah.
And there was a hollow place inside her where her fear had been, so she's no longer afraid of this bitch. Sorry, this asshole.
Yes. She conquered her biggest fear, technically.
Well, it was the thing that was kind of holding her back.
Well,
and
yeah, but it was always her, like it was ingrained into her that she would wake up the dragon, you know? Like, he was the one that she always saw, and it was just, like,
but now she's the one with the power, because she is their queen, or Khaleesi, and he's, like, this beggar king.
Yes. Beggar. I see what you did there.
Well, what do you mean? That is what they call him.
That's true, but I just... Like, we said that a while ago, and I was like, oh my god, I know what you're talking about.
All right. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so...
Jorah and Daenerys are talking, and she's kind of like this entire chapter is just her realizing more and more.
Wait,
she's like,
I think you missed a very important part.
What?
The important part is that she doesn't want him harmed.
Oh, yes.
But Viserys has to walk. They're going to take away her horse, and she makes this decision.
And that's, like, in the Dothraki culture, that's, like...
The lowest
said, like,
of the lowest.
They said, like, that's lower than, like, a man or whatever. They said... I forget how they said it, but they were like,
like, anybody who can ride a horse... Like, who can't ride a horse is not worthy of respect or anything to them.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's like, yeah, he's gonna walk. He's like, Jorah, you saw your sword to me, hit her, hurt her. And I'm like, okay, at this point you're just being unreasonable. Like, that's literally, like,
like,
Khaleesi,
what's he gonna fight the whole, like, Dothraki horde against, like...
yeah, right? Like, why would he, even if he wanted, let's say he had immense respect for Viserys and he was like, I'm on your side. He can't do anything.
He's not gonna risk his life like
that.
Right?
Exactly. Like, it's not even an even... Anybody can do it. He's just being stupid. Anyway, at that point, you just accept your fate. But then they kind of leave, and Jorah and Dany are talking about it, and this is kind of like, even through this conversation, it's just kind of that extended realization of, like, yeah, Viserys ain't shit. You know?
Yeah.
Like, as they keep talking, like, even the man who swore his sword to...
Too many SW words.
Yeah, swore his sword to him is like, he is nothing less than a snake, and the dragons are gone. And
he's no more than a snake. Not
oh,
less
sorry.
than- yeah, because like
that means
he
the
claimed
opposite. My bad.
Viserys claims he's the last dragon,
Yeah.
but Jorah thinks that Rhaegar, their older brother, was the last dragon. So he seems to have some respect for this guy who apparently, like kidnapped and raped Ned's sister.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's like Rhaegar is this like weird legend that we don't really know much about.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're
Maybe-
talking about, Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just making a joke. Maybe one day we'll have a Viserys point of view, and he'll think about Rhaegar. Oh my gosh.
Well, all Dany knows about Rhaegar comes from Viserys, and
That's
one of
true.
the things Viserys has been telling her is that, people are waiting for you, or not waiting for you. People are waiting for me to be their rightful king and whatever.
Yeah.
And
she
Jorah's like,
yeah.
the common people, so this is a very much quoted quote.
Yeah.
The common people pray for rain, healthy children, and a summer that never ends. It is no matter to them if the High Lords play their Game of Thrones. So as long as they are left in peace. And
Which
they never
are. Oh my gosh. I was like, I read that and I was thinking about it. And I was like, oh my gosh. I really enjoyed that quote. that also kind of contributed. Like, obviously I love this, like, Dany empowerment moment. I was like, you go girl, conquering the world. But then at the same time, I was like, dang, that is just so, like, perfect and pointed, and I was like, I enjoyed that. Yeah.
It makes sense to me. And it's the only kind of insight we get into the common people,
because we don't really have any common people.
Perspectives, all of them are like High Lords or wherever, so
whose lives are so hard.
Yeah, boo-hoo.
Stuck in their Game of Thrones. Oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna win the joust on Sunday. Anyway.
So anyway, Daenerys comes to realization that her brother will never take back the 7 kingdoms.
Yeah.
In fact, that, he can have all the armies, but he can never command them because he is no dragon.
Yeah. And she was like, why? She was like, I knew that all along, but I just never acknowledged it. Well,
never said it out loud. And now she said it.
Well, now she can say it out loud because now she kind of, like, she has this other option, Because before, like, Viserys was, like, the last straw, and, like, she was like, and even if Viserys couldn't do it, it was like, Viserys was always telling her that all these people cared. So let's say Viserys couldn't do it. There was still that thought of, like, okay, well, other people still care. Someone's gonna do something. Like, something's gonna happen, and we're gonna be where we're supposed to be, like, in our rightful place.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But now it's like, wait, commoners don't care.
One of the
Viserys can't do anything.
And one of the realizations for Dany is, part of her home is the Dothraki now.
Yeah.
Like, Jorah says that he prays for home, and Daenerys says that she does as well. And she, like, looks around, she sees the Dothraki sea, but she also envisions King's Landing, so she's like, she sees kind of both of her homes. Before it was always just the, okay, so Westeros is my home, I have to somehow get back there. But now she's kind of also accepting that where she is also her home a little bit, I think.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So anyway, they finish the day's ride, they set up camp, and she goes into her tent, and she notices her dragon's eggs. And, she's like just holding them and playing with them, and they seem to be warm, so like it reminds her of her dream, because one of the eggs is black and scarlet like the dragon in her dream. So she's like, oh, is the dragon from this egg or whatever? And then she's like, are these eggs alive like you thought? But then she's like, well, we have been riding all day and these are basically rocks and they get hot.
True. Okay, wait, didn't she see she was like, oh my god,
okay, you keep saying this. You keep saying this, but this is not a thing. It was like the first time at her wedding. It just, like, the moon reflected light on it
No,
or something.
No. In this chapter, she was like, it looked as though there was like light.
Oh wait, sorry, I missed. You're right. I'm sorry.
I was like, did I really make that up again?
She sees like a lick of light, as if the dragon's flame, or like the dragon, it's like breathing fire on the egg.
Yeah.
And then she goes to touch it, and that's when she feels its warmth.
Yeah.
So that's why she's connecting it to the dragon in her dream.
Yeah.
But then, like, she, justifies it as it was in the sun, hot all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, fair assumption. If every single person in the world, other than your brother, who's, incapable, is telling you that there's no more dragons, I mean...
Yeah, well, she asks her handmaidens, and, they have this whole conversation about whether... the moon was a dragon egg, and then it went too close to the sun and cracked, and all the dragons were born.
Yes, and apparently there's still a moon out. There's still a moon out there that could go too far close to the sun, and more dragons will come back.
There used to be 2 moons. One of them was the egg, and so this one can also go too close to the sun, and when it cracks open, there will be more dragons.
So
and
that's interesting.
So the person saying that is the Lyseni girl, like. Not one of the Dothraki people, and like that's her theory because she heard it from some, I don't know, traitor somewhere. But then the Dothraki are like, well, obviously the moon is the sun's wife, duh.
Obviously, how could you not?
It is known.
It is true.
Yeah. Anyway, so they have this like conversation about the dragons, moon, the egg, sun, whatever. It's interesting. It's like kind of
it's cool. We have a lot of stories in these few chapters too. Like I kind of like that. It was like more. It's more culture, and some of it's probably gotta be true because otherwise you wouldn't waste pages upon pages of just stories. So
yeah. So anyway, so Daddy's hanging out with her handmaidens, and then she's about to sit down to have dinner, and she asks Dorea,
these are the ones that Illyrio like gifted her, right?
Yeah, Viserys gifted
her.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So Dorea, who used to be a sex worker, we find out, is the person from Lys. Yeah, I think that's how you say it, Lys. Or I think in the audiobook he says lice. I don't know. Lys, I'm going to say it because it sounds prettier. So Dorea...
Lice.
So Dany asks Dorea to, hang back and talk. And basically she asks her for sex advice, which is, that's her expertise. Good idea.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to... No? Okay, you don't want to... So anyway, so that night when Drogo comes to the tent for sexy times, Daenerys is like, hold up, I'm gonna take the lead this time. And she leads him outside under the open sky with everybody watching, and, she takes the lead, and, it's always been with him on top, and this time it's her on top, so she's like getting into it for herself and things. I don't know. It's like about the most consensual that this relationship has been. Yeah. Like she still like can't leave, but at least she is not just like being used as he pleases. Like she's taking control of the situation.
Yeah.
And apparently it's so good that he cries out her name. I wonder if it was Dany or Daenerys, he said. I don't know.
Does anybody call her curious. Dany, though? I feel like...
Viserys does.
Okay, but who listens to Viserys?
No, like
they would hear...
That's her nickname.
Yeah, but I feel like... I don't know. I feel like they don't really, like, talk or anything. I feel like he wouldn't call her by a nickname. Right.
Anyway, so, yeah, that's the end of that night, but then we find out several weeks later when they're on the other side of the Dothraki Sea, Daenerys is pregnant at age... And that the day she finds out that she's pregnant, she turns 14. So,
which is interesting.
It's like, you're almost like, oh, yes, she's coming, she's like, yes, girl power or whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, she was 14. And then it's like, oh shit, I forgot. It's a little bit
right? Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah, I know, I saw that, and I was like, no, because, like, halfway through the chapter, I was like, I have to ask Nav how old she is.
She was 13, and then she just turned
and then,
14.
like, the end of the chapter, like, gave me my answer, and I was like, cool,
Yeah.
interesting. But, okay, so I think that, because I remember, like, as soon as she started talking, as soon as she said, like, Viserys can't do shit, as soon as she, like, said that, I was like, okay, well, then Dany has to do something. Because I think from before, it wasn't...
Do something meaning...
like, get them back to their
Oh,
rightful
like take
place.
over the 7 kingdoms?
Yes.
So Dany's gonna do that now.
I don't know if she's gonna take over the 7 kingdoms, but she's... Actually, yeah, I hadn't thought about that. But she's definitely gonna try to, like... Actually, yeah, no. Because I was thinking, I was like... Because she was asking Jorah, and she was like, he wouldn't be a good king, would he? Because obviously she doesn't really know what king's supposed to be like, because she was too young for that. So, I don't know, because before I was thinking, like, she's like, oh, I'm gonna... Because Viserys is like, I'm gonna lead an army to Westeros and go get our kingdom back. But then in the middle of the story, I was like, okay, but he can't do that. And I was like, is Dany gonna do that? But then I was like, is that too, like, far out of reach, you know what I mean? But then when she was like, I'm pregnant, I was like, if she has, like, a boy, he would definitely be, like, able to do that, you know?
So her son
is gonna go back to Westeros and get them there.
But that's gonna be, like, years.
Well,
like,
they've
her
already
son
waited.
will
They've
be
already
born
waited.
in...
I know, but they've already waited a while, like, you know?
Okay, so how old is her son gonna be when he goes for Westeros?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about that yet.
Okay.
Maybe, like, I don't know. Maybe, like, you know, I don't know, because I'm thinking about, like, the 9 and 10-year-olds we have in the story, and I'm like, they could not lead. So, okay, maybe, like, 14.
Okay, so 15 years from now.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, now I see how many holes there are, but it's fine. It's still possible.
Got it. Okay, anything else to talk about in that chapter?
I'm thinking.
We'll do predictions later, but anything else?
I think I'm good.
Okay, well then on to Bran. Would you please start us off?
Bran the man. Sorry, what? Oh, you said start us off. I thought you said, would you please turn this off? And I was like, sorry?
No, start.
I was like, okay, so Bran's sad. Bran is very unhappy. He's like, I want to run with the wolves, because the wolves are, like, playing with Rickon, and, you know, his window, like, looks out, and he sees everyone having fun, and he's like, I can't ride again, I can't run again, I can't climb again, and it's this... You know,
how in Arya's chapter, the whole thing was that she's sad, she's mad, and in this chapter, the whole thing is that Bran's sad.
Yeah. But I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like out of everyone so far, Bran's is the most, like, warranted. Because sometimes, you know, like, the other kids do have a tendency
had a major
to be...
change.
Yeah, like, a lot of the kids... Obviously, this is obviously
But Arya's
fair,
best friend was butchered.
Yeah, of course. Like, but then sometimes...
They've all had shit happen.
But they also have a tendency to be like, oh my gosh, I'm in the royal house.
John.
So sad.
John.
You know? But like, they have a tendency to do that, you know? And that's okay, because they're kids, and we keep forgetting, because we're reading about them. Like, I keep forgetting their ages, you know? So I keep forgetting that these are literally children, right? But... like, they're allowed to be children. It's okay. But I feel like Bran's was the most...
Bran just turned 8. He's almost a man grown, okay?
I know, he's like, I'm 8. I'm too old to cry about my fate. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, he made me laugh.
You laugh?
Well, he was like...
you laughed at, like,
I'm
the
8 now.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
and I'm almost a man grown. And I was like,
oh, yeah, that's true. Well, they were telling him that when he was, like, 7. I remember, like, when they were in the Godswood, and Catelyn was like, he's a kid, and Ned was like, yeah,
winter is coming. He has to be hot.
Yeah, right? That was like, okay, buddy, calm down. But anyway, so he's there, and they, like, old Nan is always there to keep him company, and it's kind of like, I think, like, after everything's that's happened, all the kids are, like, obviously having this, like, shift. Like, how, like, Arya goes from liking all the guys' stories and, like, hearing about their lives to being, like, you all are traitors. And then now Bran goes from, like, oh my god, old man stories, to now he's kind of like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
He is also, he's like, I'm too old for stories now.
Yeah.
And, you know, old Nan is so old that she's at least the oldest person in Winterfell.
Yeah.
And she's, like, seen so many Brandon Starks in her
very
life
old.
that they're all, like, merging into one person.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember who's
Okay,
who.
wait, so Bran is Brandon?
Yes.
Did we know this?
Yeah.
Okay,
we
I
read it
just
somewhere.
forgot about that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Brands are short for Brandon.
Okay, but I like
that's
Bran
like,
better. I just feel like it has more personality. Raisin
well,
Bran.
yeah, Brandon is like a very, it's like a traditional Stark name. Like every generation somebody's named Brandon, and they call him Bran because Brandon is like so long.
Yeah.
Anyway, so old Nan's there, and
but also in this moment, I was kind of, because I was still thinking about the previous chapter when I was reading this, like, old Nan, because wasn't it like her sons died on the Trident, and then, like, her grandson died in another battle or something, like, something like that, right? And I was thinking about, like, the thing from the previous chapter, like, the common folk, like, don't want to be included in all this Game of Thrones, and I was like, dang. She's kind of one of those people that's, like, lost so much.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she has been at Winterfell for a long time. Yeah. And, you know, she's used to telling stories to all the kids. And Bran's like, well, I don't like your stories, except the scary ones. And then she's like,
you don't know fear, sir.
Oh, my sweet summer child. Which is, I wanted to call you that so many times, but I didn't want to, like, spoil you on the phrase.
Oh,
but
okay. Oh,
you are my sweet summer child.
Oh my god, that's so true. I don't know what winter is like yet, so.
You don't know
Oh my god, that tells me that winter will eventually come and we won't get to the end of the 5th book and be like,
well, you also are a sweet summer child in that you don't know anything about these series.
That's true, yeah.
But anyway, so she's like, what do you know of fear? Fear is for the winter, when the snows fall 100 feet deep and the ice winds come howling out of the north.
Winterfell? More like Winnipeg. Just kidding.
Okay. All right.
Winterpeg.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's
you just outed our location. Now people are going to stalk us because we're so stalkable. No, I'm just kidding. So, yes, Winterfell, Winterpeg.
Because snow obviously falls 100 feet deep here.
Well, a dozen. But,
yeah,
okay.
Okay, anyway. So, Rob's...
In her stories. Yeah. No, we're not going to Rob yet. We're talking about her stories, because her stories are amazing, okay? So, she talks about the long night, which is when the White Walkers come. And the night... It was a night that lasted a frickin' generation. So,
which is...
she says, there came a night that lasted a generation, and kings shivered and died in their castles, even as the swineherds in their hovels. Oh my god. Gosh, I can't, like, imagine, like, if for your entire life, it's just night and winter. I could never.
That's, oh my gosh.
So... We know, so according to her stories, the others come in the long night, and the long night is long. It is cold and wintry. And the others have dead servants. So that's them zombies we saw in the prologue. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then she...
So those weren't the others.
No, so wait, no. There were others, which was the people that Sir, quote unquote, fought with the ice swords. Those were the others. Yeah. But then remember when Sir woke up afterwards and Will killed Will? Like, Will was up a tree. Yeah. And he was watching as Sir fought the White Walkers. Yeah. The others. And so Sir died. But then when Will got down from the tree, Sir Royce
Oh,
was
those
awake.
were the zombies. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember you
So
telling me. You were like, oh, those are two different things, Hermit. Don't get confused. Right,
Yeah, so
okay.
others are the ones that are icy with the ice swords and the rainbow-like armor.
They're the others and the White Walkers, but then the zombies are, like, not part of them. The zombies are, like, the
like humans come
yeah.
back like zombies.
Yeah, okay, so, like, oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense, yeah.
So that's their dead servants.
Ah, okay.
And then she talks about the last hero who wanted to end the the long night.
Mm-hmm.
And he, he went out to find the children of the forest until he lost all his, friends, like a horse, a dog, and his companions.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And then, by then...
And apparently, the White Walkers also have spiders as big as hounds. Ugh, just that idea. That makes me, like, I want to see that.
That's,
I mean, not that I like spiders, but...
Ron Weasley would be crying.
Yes, but they're also pale white, so they're like icy spiders.
Oh my god, that could be pretty in a really offsetting way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I feel
anyway.
like... Wait, never mind. That's
Go
gonna
ahead.
sound stupid.
Say it.
You're gonna make fun of me. I forget, other than, like, being white, like, being White Walkers, I forget, like, what the others look like. So I was like, the others could be pretty, but then I was like, I can't remember what they look like, so I don't know
Go
if that's
to the
completely
prologue.
wrong. Okay, I will do that.
Yeah. Because they're just, like, ice creatures. I don't know how to explain them. I think it's just best if you read it again. You can go back and read all the chapters you've read. No, like, however many times you want. But just don't read ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so those are Nan's stories. We learn about all these interesting things, and it's fun. I like the stories. And they give, like, they are kind of chilling.
And then Hodor, the giant,
so Bran is called
in.
down to the Great Hall because there's a visitor.
Yeah.
And Hodor comes in, who's a
giant, so he has to, like, crouch to try and...
Well, he's not actually a giant, but he's just almost 7 feet tall.
Yes.
He's just a very tall
I figured there wasn't giants in this world, but you never know.
Well, yeah. Anyway, okay, sorry. I was going to say something about Hodor. Oh, sorry. Hodor is Old Nan's great-grandson. And... Hodor isn't actually his name. His name is Walder, but, for some reason he only says Hodor, so people call him Hodor.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's big. He picks up Bran, takes him down to the Great Hall. Continue.
And as soon as Bran comes in, he's like, I feel anger. And Rob, not John. Rob is not being very courteous to Tyrion. He's like, hey, all the men at the Night's Watch can, stay as long as they want. And Tyrion's like, oh, so not me. And
Rob's got his, like, sword unsheathed, so, like, that's like a clear no.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I guess if he's like, you could have tried to hurt Bran, like, obviously he's not gonna be, like, friendly to a Lannister. But he is also impulsive. Like, yeah, that's true.
If he were smart, he would be like, "Oh yeah, nothing's wrong at all. My mom's just gone down to the neighboring holdfast to have tea."
That's true. Yes, because we Starks do that.
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
He would play it smart. Instead, he's playing it on his emotions. Like, he's Rob the Lord now, as Bran calls him. But he's still 14 and a kid, and he has those teenager impulsive ideas.
Puberty is not fun, guys. Anyway, he's like, Rob's like, okay, you wanted to talk to him, he's here. And he's like, you Starks are hard to kill. Which was interesting. I was like, George R. Martin, he's setting it up, like, I feel like it's very clever, and I love how, like, every single time we see Tyrion, we, like, there's this, like, direct
it could go either way.
Right? It's like, it's crazy, but, like, I love it, but at the same time, I'm like, it's just too, like, it's just too scripted to be true. Like, I just feel like, you know what? I don't know. Anyway, so
Still, it serves the story.
Yeah, for sure. So he's like, oh, so what do you remember, Bran? And someone else pipes in, and they're like, he doesn't remember anything about before the fall. And then Tyrion's like, oh, well, great. Then I've got a gift for you. And so then he kind of he gives them this like sketch. Yeah, this like sketch of this
like a blueprint.
Yeah, of this like type of saddle that Bran could use and be able to ride. And Bran's like, wait, what? Hello?
I can ride?
Yeah. And everybody's like, oh my god, that's actually smart. Good job, buddy. But Rob's like, why are you helping my brother? Instead of, thanking him. But, he's probably also like, are you sure this is gonna work? Or are you just like, gaslighting
He's
us?
also just like, he expected Tyrion to, not care for Bran in any way. Yeah. And which is when Tyrion's like, well, I have a tender spot in my heart for cripples, bastards, and broken things. Which, like, I guess. I guess that's one way to talk about disability.
Yeah. But also, he was like, oh, well, I promised your brother that I would try to help Bran. And Bran was like, Jon! But anyway.
So, at this point, Rickon comes in. That little 3-year-old with,
Rickon.
3 ginormous direwolves.
I feel so bad for Rickon. Like, I feel so much... Because he's,
like, a baby and left alone.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Rickon compared to, like, literally everybody in the story. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of, like, you could be like, he hasn't gone through anything, but I don't know, I just feel really bad. I feel like just because, like... Yeah, I just feel like... Yeah,
he's too
really
young to understand what's happening.
Yeah, so, there's no... He can't really, like... Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I'm just saying, yeah.
I mean, all of them have their burden to bear. Like, Bran has just had he's lost the use of his legs, so he's lost, this... Climbing was like his life.
Yeah.
So now he's lost so much of that. And Robb is the Lord of Winterfell now, but he doesn't have his parents to guide him. And Rickon is being raised by wolves, basically. As a baby. And Arya lost her friend, and Sansa lost her wolf, and Jon lost his family and, privilege and whatever. And his uncle. Yeah. So all of their lives suck in some way or other.
Yeah.
But anyway, Rickon comes in with the wolves, and the wolves, as soon as they come in, they do not like Tyrion. Like, they start growling and they're unhappy. And they have to be called off. And I love how, Bran calls his off and then Robb follows suit. But then, Rickon just stands there until they tell him to call his.
That was funny. Well, because he's he's not exactly because to him, they're like friends, I don't think he understands that they can do do a lot of harm.
So anyway, they call off the wolves, and Tyrion's like, well, thanks for nothing. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, because Tyrion gave Bran the idea for the saddle, Robb's like, oh, fine, why don't you stay? And at that point, Tyrion's like, no thanks. I would sleep better not under your roof. So he leaves.
Yeah.
Sorry, the thing is happening where I've been sitting here and talking for so long that my nose is getting congested.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So after, Tyrion leaves and the Night's Watch people get settled up, Bran gets carried up to his room and he falls asleep. And he dreams about climbing. And at the top of the tower, he sees gargoyles that perhaps once had been lions. And he tells himself to not listen to what they're saying. And when they, catch him or something, he's like, I didn't hear. So there's still some of that memory there.
Yeah, there's that trauma. Yeah, trauma. I was like, trauma. Yeah, there's that trauma showing itself in his dreams.
Yeah, because he doesn't remember exactly what it is he's not supposed to hear, but he just knows that he shouldn't, and that it would lead to something bad.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up, and Hodor's there to take him to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting around. The Night's Watch people are there. Yoren, one of the people we met earlier, is there. And
Kate, so it says, like, the wolves still won't come near the hall, which
no, the dogs won't come near the hall because the wolves are there.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, why did I literally confuse dogs and wolves?
No,
okay.
It's okay. The wolves are there. So
Okay.
Bran's feeding Summer, and the other two are like fighting off for a piece of chicken or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Anyways.
yeah. Right, I forgot, yeah.
But the dogs are afraid of them, so they won't come in.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Aren't the dogs there to protect them? But they're, like, afraid of other things. That's
well, the
funny.
wolves are much bigger than the dogs, so...
That's true.
Anyway, that's not important. What's important is that they ask Yoren about Benjen. And Yoren's like, I don't know what to tell you. He probably did. And Rob, at this point...
Rob's like, my uncle is not dead!
Yeah,
and
again, like a bit
okay,
of that,
buddy.
like, you know, 14-year-old coming through.
Yeah. And everybody's kind of like, okay. You know?
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm sure he's fine. Like, Yoren doesn't back away from his, like, position that, you know, the woods are dangerous and anybody can die out there. But the other people are like, oh yeah, maybe he is fine.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And Bran's like, the children of the forest are gonna help
Oh
him.
yeah, because he remembers the stories about the last hero or the first hero. I can't remember which one it was.
Last hero, I think.
Yes, the last hero, because the children of the forest helped him, so he thinks that they'll help Benjen, and you know that comforts him.
Mm-hmm.
And after dinner, you know, they leave, and Rob's the one that take Bran's up to his room this time, and you know they're sitting there, they're thinking about, you know,
okay,
I cried dead here. Uncle. Yeah,
I cried here when Rob was like, oh, well, Mom's gonna get back, and we're gonna go do this, and you and I are gonna go on a field trip to go see John. Like, when he was just saying all those things, like, I just started crying, and I was like, why am I crying?
Yeah.
It was sad.
You don't even know. Like, knowing the whole story, you don't even know. But, so, you know, they're sad about their uncle possibly being dead, their parents not being there, and this is the first time they've, like, actually kind of, it seems like, talked, and they're crying and bonding, and it's sad. Yeah, that was a sad note to end on. But hopeful, because there was, like, you know, they're like, oh, you'll be able to ride, we'll go on adventures.
Yeah, but are they gonna have time to do that if a war is ensuing?
Yeah, well, we won't talk about that yet.
Okay.
Let's go to dear Eddard.
Eddard! Oh my gosh.
Okay, so Ned is visiting Grand Maester
Pycelle. His name's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is. Like Patire. I listened for these chapters. I went through them again with the audiobook, and I was like so caught off guard by Batar again. Like he doesn't, because there were 3 chapters, and he doesn't say the word Peter isn't mentioned until like the very last 2 paragraphs, and all of a sudden, because at one, like, you know, at some point somebody calls him Lord Baelish, and it's like, okay, it's Littlefinger, but then he's like, Patar said. And I was,
yeah, he has like 50 million names. Oh my gosh. Not only are there probably gonna, because you said there's like thousands and thousands of characters in this world, not only are there gonna be thousands of people, but like every single person has nicknames. That they're commonly referred to as. And Littlefinger has 3 names.
You don't even know. There's people I don't even remember their real name. I just remember, like, what people call them.
Oh my gosh.
Like, there's a tattered prince. There's a strong something. I won't, because that's part of his name. And, you know, there's so many people, and there's so many nicknames. It's a little ridiculous, honestly. And I was going through the appendix of like later books. Oh my god, it takes up like a quarter of the book. Like of the printed book.
Wait, there's more appendix? Oh, because the appendix is just for one book.
Yep. Okay, let's not get
How many more
distracted.
families are there in this world?
Well, they're not always, well, yeah, there's like families that get introduced, but also just other people that get introduced.
Like the appendix isn't always like that makes sense, because how many royal families? Oh, so this one was like royal families. Then the next one will just be like people or like...
It's always like the people that are relevant in that book. Anyway.
Okay.
Right. But that's not important.
Cool.
Let's talk about Ned, okay?
Eddard. I love Eddard.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him Eddard because then we know all the names, that it could possibly be.
Oh, so it could be Ned and Eddard and Eddard.
And yes.
And Oled. So, Maester Pycelle is drinking oversweetened cold milk. This made me gag a little bit.
That's kind of
as you know, have like the opposite of a sweet tooth. I cannot deal with anything sweet. And to like milk for me is already too sweet.
Milk is
but
very
to add
sweet.
Honey to it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god. And it's like hot, sweltering weather, and Ned's like his clothes are sticking to him, and
yeah, I understand adding like to tea, but milk just makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, don't they have lemonade? Okay, so yeah, it's just like the weather is terrible, the drink they're having is terrible. It's just like an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
And they're talking about like an uncomfortable topic, which is Jon Arryn's death. And Ned's like, tell me about it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, he was healthy and he came to me for a book, but the next day he fell ill and he was sick for a little bit, and then he sent away like his maester, which was...
Well, Maester Pycelle went in to take a look at him, because, you know, he's the Grand Maester.
Yeah.
And the Maester who was treating Jon Arryn was, like, apparently purging him with, like, pepper juices and things. Mm-hmm. And according to Pycelle, that would have killed Jon Arryn. Not that it, he didn't die anyway.
Yeah.
So Pycelle went in and sent the other Maester away. Mm-hmm. And, Ned asked about, what was he like? And Pycelle says, he called for Robert, but they don't know which Robert he meant exactly. Oh, yeah. Because his son's named Robert, and then the King Robert.
Yeah.
Apparently
they keep saying they keep saying he has a sickly son, and then I read the appendix, and it was like, sickly son, and I was like, what does that mean?
Like, he's not very healthy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Am I gonna find out ever?
Yeah, you will. Like,
okay.
I don't know how to explain sickly. Okay. Like, you know how in Harry Potter, Lupin is always kind of sick? But, like, tattered, kind of like that in a way, maybe?
Okay. Well, Lupin has a reason.
Like, he's just not very healthy.
Okay, alright. So
that's
sickly means sickly. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it.
Not like he's ugly or he's so gross to look upon that it makes you sick. Like nothing like that.
Okay.
Maybe it does, but we'll get to there.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, distracting. Okay, so Liza wouldn't let Robert Arryn see Jon Arryn because she was afraid that the sickness would be contagious or something, and since the kid's already sick, it could be really fatal for him or something. But Robert, the king, did go to sit with him, and apparently he said to Robert and Liza as his last words, "The seed is strong," apparently as a blessing for his son Robert.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means. Like,
well,
at all.
See,
I
think in this way he's referring to seed as his offspring is strong.
Oh my god, that's his final words.
Well, if it's like my offspring may be sickly now, but he can grow up to be a strong man.
Oh, I guess it's also because, like, if he's wasn't there a thing where Robert was like, oh, you should, where Ned was telling King Robert that he should make Jon Arryn's son like a warden or whatever.
The warden of the...
Oh, yeah. So it could also kind of be like, oh, yeah. So
he's
kind
capable.
Of like, oh, okay, yeah. See, that makes more sense. Yeah. I was like, that's a gross, weird thought.
Yeah, like, that's what Pycelle makes of it. Like, that's what he's like, it's a blessing for his son.
Yeah. Okay.
It's, it is weird.
Oh my gosh.
So at this point, Ned is like, so Liza, my dear Liza, totally thinks somebody poisoned Jon Arryn, and he's like just putting it out there. I was so surprised. Because,
I know.
Apparently it's this big secret.
Yeah, and I know.
She like sent a secret letter in a secret box, and it was like a whole deal.
I know.
And he's just like, oh yeah, she thinks he was poisoned.
I know. But the thing is, Pycelle kind of was like, oh yeah, she's just been seeing enemies everywhere. So even though she like kept her suspicions secret, does that mean everybody just kind of like still knew that she was suspicious of everything, right? Like, it's just not as big of a secret as
so
we
one of
thought?
the things we learn is that she recently had a miscarriage or a stillborn birth. She gave birth to a stillborn child.
Yeah.
So like ever since then she's been paranoid and suspicious. Anyway, so Ned's like, it might be poison, and poison, I've heard, is a woman's weapon. Hint, 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 hint. Like, who is the only real notable woman in King's Landing? He's like just giving away his whole game.
And he even says later in the chapter when like Maester's like, I'm here to serve, and he's like, yeah, but who? And I'm like, yeah. Then what exactly? Why are you being stupid? Like,
yeah. But anyway, later we learned that the queen wasn't actually in there. King's Landing when Jon Arryn died.
But that could definitely just be like I wasn't there.
Like she got somebody else to do it for her. Or whatever. Yeah, that's totally possible. But like she herself wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And well, when Ned mentions that poison is a woman's weapon, Pycelle's like, well, women, cravens, and eunuchs. Hint, hint. He's also not very subtle.
Yeah, literally. All these people are just outing each other.
Yeah, and Ned's like, I don't trust Varys, but I don't trust you either, so like, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so for this chapter, I was once again reading Race for the Iron Throne by Stephen Atwell, the blog. Yeah. And in his analysis, he mentioned that, one of the suspicious things about Jon Arryn's death is that it was so sudden. Mm-hmm. But it's not so unlikely because in this world they don't really have proper hygiene. Yeah. Like they're just like shitting everywhere. They don't take baths very often. Like it is possible that he could have just had an illness.
Yeah, that's true.
So I thought that was a good point. So I wanted to mention it.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, at this point Ned's like, okay, I'm gonna leave this gross milk in this gross room and get on out of here. But before he goes, he asks for the book that Jon Arryn was reading or came for. Yeah. And Pycelle tells him that it was a book of the lineages of the great houses. Interesting. Mm-hmm. He says it's a ponderous read, which I enjoyed. I know, like, it's all these, like, hoity-toity words that we don't use very often. Ponderous. That sounded like Snape.
Really? That's funny.
Anyway, so at this point, it's like, Pycelle says to Ned, I'm here to serve, and Ned's like, but who? So, he's
not being very, oh my gosh, he's not, like he says, like, he's not good at the word game, like he said in the previous chapter, he's just not, he ain't subtle.
But he has to be, that's where he's now, adapt.
I know,
Haven't you learned anything from Daenerys?
I know, but he's just not getting there quick enough.
Yeah, like, he's smart enough to know not to trust Pycelle, but he's also stupid enough to actually, like, give him all the information. Yeah. Anyway, so Ned leaves, and in the Tower of the Hand, he finds Arya practicing standing on one toe at the top of the flight of stairs. Mm-hmm. And, he's amused by it, but, doesn't want her to hurt herself. And they're talking about Bran. She asks if he'll be a knight, and he says no, he can't be a knight anymore. Mm-hmm.
But he's like, oh, he has all these other options.
Yeah, he can be a lord or a builder or a... I can't remember all the other things.
It's interesting. Bran can do all of those things, but for Arya, he's like, oh, you're gonna marry a king.
Also, wait,
that's
one thing. But Sansa is supposed to marry Joffrey. There can't be more than one king.
Oh, wait. Did he say king?
Yeah, he totally said king. Like, it's... Or, like, not like you're gonna marry a great lord. Okay, that's not the important point. The important point is that even though Bran now has a disability, he still has more prospects than Arya, just because he's, like, the male child of a great house. The fact that he is from a great house is also a contributor to that, because in this world, if you have a disability and you don't have the money or resources for somebody to take care of you, to help you, like, there's not much that, like, a poor person can do for their family member who has a disability.
Yeah.
Whereas Bran, you know, he has Hoarder to basically be his legs now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so interesting gender. What is the word? Dynamics.
Yes. Very
you know, Arya, and also one more thing. Bran wanted to be a knight, and now Arya's learning to fight. And, you know, she is able to fight, unlike Bran, but still, like, all she can be is a great lady of some house.
No.
And a mother, and blah, blah, blah.
And she's like, no.
Fuck that, I don't want to be. Yeah, that's Sansa's deal, not mine.
Yeah.
I think you have us mistaken here.
Yes, we are different.
Anyway, okay, so interesting thing here. Ned thinks back at this moment to when they found out that Bran was gonna be okay, but that he had lost use of his legs. Mm-hmm. He says that, you know, Bran will be a lord and things, but he won't have any kids. So that means, you know, the paralysis has... I can't think of the words, Harmith. Okay.
It's like...
the paralysis has led to him not being able to ever have sex.
Yeah.
Basically. Like, that's what we learned.
Yeah.
So that's like a thing that Bran has lost that he may not realize that he wants yet.
Yeah.
Blah. Okay. Anyway, after this conversation with Arya, Ned goes on up to his room and he's changing into lighter clothing because it's hot.
It's hot.
And Littlefinger comes knocking. And he has news for Ned. Apparently, he's found 4 of Jon Arryn's servants. Mm-hmm. So when Lysa left the capital, she apparently took everyone with her. That's what Ned thought, at least. But apparently, there was a girl who got pregnant, so she's around. There's a stable hand who joined the city watch. There was a pot boy who stole, so he was dismissed from service. And then there's also Jon Arryn's squire, Sir Hugh of the Vale, who got knighted after his death. So he was, a squire, helps you with everything. So he should know everything.
Yeah.
Apparently. And
Ned's like, oh, let's get him here. Let's get the show on the road. And Littlefinger's like, wow, you're an idiot. That's a spy. That's a spy. Don't. Yeah. And okay, it's funny that there's like Varys has his own spies for him because he's taken an interest in him. But then the Queen has her own spies for the thing,
yeah.
and like everybody here
and
just
I
has
bet
their own
what
spies.
Littlefinger forgot to mention is one of his own spies. Okay, so at this point, Littlefinger asks Ned if there's anybody he trusts completely, and Ned says yes, like a dumbass. And Littlefinger's like, send him to talk to the servants, because then he won't be followed as much or whatever. Mm-hmm. The other thing it does, however, do is that, any one of Ned's people isn't going to have the same power as Ned. Like...
yeah, while talking to them.
Yeah. like, if the hand of the king comes to you, you're gonna have to tell him whatever he wants. But if, like, the king's squire comes to you, you can just be like, fuck off. Like, that's the thing.
That's true.
But it also means that there will be less people following whoever he sends.
Yeah.
So, at this point, Ned realizes that, well, he feels that he has been wrong to distrust Littlefinger. And Littlefinger says, "You're slow to learn, Lord Eddard. Distrusting me was the wisest thing you've done since you climbed down off your horse." And we end with that.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, what do you think of that line?
I think that's not gonna be good for our protagonists.
No, but okay.
Oh, like just the line itself?
Yeah, sure. That's kind of what I meant.
Well, I don't think I thought too much of it. I was like, yeah, makes sense.
Okay. All right. So, anything to add for that chapter?
Let's see if I have.
Or Bran's, I think.
Oh no, I want to say something. Okay. So what was I doing? I was doing something and somebody mentioned like Groundhog Day. You know how when like winter is gonna be there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what would be so funny is if there was like a Groundhog Day, but like a different animal version where they could see how long winter was gonna last due to a groundhog seeing its shadow. That would be so funny. Anyway, I was just thinking about that.
So
it was
funny.
a stupid thought. It was a stupid thought, but I enjoyed it.
What will it be? Like a direwolf seeing its own shadow, or
could be. I mean, it's possible.
Okay.
It could be like a. Have we seen any small animals? It could be a rat. Do they have rats?
Yeah,
anyway,
they have rats.
Whatever. It could just be a animal that hangs out.
You had a
ground.
thought.
That was my thought.
Okay, so can we move on to predictions then?
Okay.
All right. So, first up, what's going to happen to Viserys?
Oh. Well, he's going to come back and he's going to be all
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that. He can't really do much, you know? Like, there's literally nothing. But, like,
is he gonna leave? Is he gonna...
Oh, he's definitely not gonna leave. Well, the only person that's on his side is Illyrio, and Illyrio's not there. But at the same time, he can't just, give up on this thing that he's, like, lusting for, so... I don't think he's gonna leave. He's gonna stay. Maybe he'll try to talk to the call directly and be like, "I'm taking my sister away if you don't." Like, even though he has, like, literally no power over that, he's gonna be like, "I'm gonna take my sister away if you don't." Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh wait, he can't communicate with him though. That's true.
But there's translators.
That's true. But also,
so he says, "I'm gonna take Daenerys away," and then what? What does Drogo do? He's just like, "Oh,
nothing.
Okay,
nothing.
I'm gonna give you your army," or
no. But I just think that, like, I'm not saying that would be a smart thing, but I just don't think, like, I don't think there's anything, like, useful for himself that Viserys could do right now, you know? So I don't think...
Right, but what happens to him doesn't need to be useful. I just want to know what happens.
That's what I mean. Like when you were like, "Oh, what's Call gonna do?" That's what I mean. Like, Call is just gonna be like, "What the fuck? Get off. I'm gonna do what I want to do," you know? But I feel like he's still gonna try. Yeah, but I feel like he's still gonna try.
So he's not gonna adapt to the Dothraki culture at all?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. What's up with the dragon's eggs? So do you think it's the heat from the sun, or is there something else going on there?
I think...
Or is it like a combination of, like, the reality of the heat plus the dreams that she's been having?
That's a good question. I remember before I was like, "There's dragons," and you were like, "They've been dead for thousands of years." Well, no, you thought
like the eggs moved, and I was like, "No, there was light reflecting off of it."
Oh, that's what okay. See, I don't remember that.
And you thought like she was being given like live dragon eggs, and then she was gonna have dragons. And I was like, why would if Illyrio could have dragons, why would he give them to Daenerys?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was, I don't remember why I thought that, but, what was I saying? Oh, what do I think about the dragons? That's interesting. Okay, I don't know if there are still dragons, but I think, I feel like the eggs are definitely, they're not just dead rocks. You know what I mean? They either hold some sort of power, like they're never gonna hatch and grow up, but they have like maybe like some sort of power they can like transfer or something, or like do something.
That's a cool idea.
You know, like kind of like induce those dreams and stuff. Maybe, I don't know,
right.
But I feel like they definitely, there's something that connects them to the universe. Like they're biotic in some way, even if they're not like completely, you know, like alive.
Okay.
Yes, that is.
So I like that idea. Like, you know, Daenerys can get some power from them if she can get dragons. Mm-hmm. I like that idea. Okay. So very important question: is the moon an egg or the sun's wife?
I don't think so. I do like that idea.
Well, you don't think so for which one of them?
I don't think that the moon is the sun's wife, and I also don't think that the moon is an egg.
I know. That was just like a question that I wanted to.
I do like the idea, though, that, like, from that same fable, I do like the idea that like, oh, what happened before to make the dragons can happen again.
Yeah.
You know, I do
like that idea too.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. So what's gonna happen with the pregnancy?
She's gonna have a kid. Or, wait, that's probably not a given. Oh, wait, but they're, like, traveling all... How do they have kids? Wait, but...
People can have kids.
I know, but it's just, like, gonna be hard on her body.
First off, she realizes she's pregnant when they get to the end of the Dothraki Sea. And at the end of the Dothraki Sea is where they were going.
Oh,
so they've, like, reached a destination.
They just travel. Like,
they do travel, but...
but now there's somewhere that she can, like, stay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I guess just
and also,
this
like,
time they've been traveling.
They must have provisions. Like,
oh, wait,
if somebody's so pregnant that they can't ride, they would have carts or things.
Wait, I literally forgot, because remember when we first met, like, Call, we were, like, at his castle or whatever? Or
well, we were at his manse in Pentos, which was gifted to him.
Oh,
so.
Okay. I see. So... Okay, because they travel a lot, so he was just, like,
so Pentos. He has houses in a lot of like
everywhere.
Places.
Okay, cool. See, I keep forgetting about that. Well, also because we haven't seen them in so long. Like,
right, but you still haven't answered what's going to happen with the pregnancy.
Oh, okay, cool. So I think she's going to have the kid.
Okay. And while, you know, gender is not really a thing, or even sex is not as simple as it seems, is it gonna be a boy or a girl? In this world, I am putting in that dichotomy, but that's not what I really believe, just so that everybody knows.
Okay. So, I think it's gonna be a boy, because I don't think, if it was a girl, I don't think she would be able to, because, I don't know, she needs a leader for the army.
Yeah. And, okay.
Yeah, and girl wouldn't be able to do that.
So,
allowed to do that.
Her son's gonna be born and eventually be the leader of the army that takes her back to Westeros.
Yeah. It's kind of like a better version of Viserys. You know? Like a more intelligent version.
What features is the son gonna have? Like, you know how she has silver hair and purple eyes?
Oh my gosh.
But then Khal Drogo has black hair and like brown eyes.
Oh my gosh, their kid could be so pretty. What if their kid had like black eyes and white hair? Like silver hairs. Didn't you just say Khal Drogo had black eyes?
Black hair and brown eyes.
Oh.
Nobody really has black eyes.
Well, there are some people who do.
Really?
Yeah.
It's always like a really just dark brown.
I don't think I've met someone who has black eyes, but there's definitely, it's like less than 1% or something like that of people.
Okay.
But
so
anyway,
he's gonna have black eyes.
He's gonna have black eyes, and he's gonna be silver hair.
Even though neither of his parents...
Yes.
Parents?
Well, it's possible. It could be a recessive gene. It's possible, but not likely.
All right.
Sometimes I just like to make fun predictions, not because I think they're gonna happen, just because I want it to happen.
Yeah. So that's that. Next up, Bran's chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Hodor only say Hodor?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, does he...
I don't know either. I mean, I do, but...
Liar. Like, I don't know why he specifically... Like, Hodor, what does that even mean?
What does it mean? I don't know. You tell me.
Literally the only thing I can think of is...
Don't ever Google it. I will be so mad at you.
Oh, okay. Hodor. Hodo.
Okay, never mind.
Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense.
Why don't the direwolves like Tyrion?
I don't know. I don't even have any predictions for this because I was just so confused. Okay, wait, let me think about it. Maybe I can think of something.
Okay.
So the direwolves don't like Tyrion. When they were all here last time, the wolves didn't really encounter them, right?
Well, he encountered Ghost, but he seems to have like gotten along with Ghost. Like Ghost did kind of like...
But that was when he was like...
He just got there and Ghost was like being aggressive towards him, but Jon told him to calm down. And then at the wall, Ghost and him were like, okay. But I don't think he's really encountered the other direwolves.
The ghosts go after people who they
the
feel
ghosts
are
or
in
the
danger.
direwolves?
Sorry. The wolves. The wolves always go after like the people who they feel are being dangerous to like their like
they're like people.
Their kid, their person.
They're humans.
So maybe wait, so it's Rickon's, Bran's, and Robb's wolves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they think Tyrion's dangerous?
I don't know, you tell me.
Did Tyrion do it? And they know, but how would a wolf know? Well, maybe how do they... So they could just... Maybe they just sense that he has... I don't know, though. Because why this chapter? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, did Tyrion send the assassin? What's your verdict on that now?
I feel like anybody who's listening and who knows is just like, wow, this girl's so dumb. Even with all these hints, she can't get
not.
it. But
the thing is, every hint can go either way.
I know. But like, I keep saying that it's not. So if it is, I feel like the people are just gonna be so frustrated with me because they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, he literally gave you so many hints."
Okay, stop thinking about the people. What
okay,
do you actually think?
I don't think that he did it.
So he did not do it.
He did not do it. No.
Okay, moving on.
He could be aware of who did it, but he didn't do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Do the children of the forest still exist?
Yeah. Because it's like those trees, you know, the main tree?
Mm-hmm, the weirwoods.
Yeah, the tree that looks like it's looking all the time. I think the children of the forest are doing their own thing.
Inside the tree or something?
No, like, you know, they're just, like, there and watching.
Okay. And will they help Benjen, like Bran hopes?
They could.
But will they?
I'm thinking. You know what? We're gonna say they will.
Okay, help him how?
They're gonna... Wait, what's he gone to do? Oh, he's gone to look for... Okay, see, here's the thing. The only way they can help him is to be like, hey, he's a zombie now. Leave. You know?
Okay. But he still hasn't arrived at the wall, so...
Yeah, so, I don't know.
Okay. So, moving on to Ned. Which Robert did Jon Arryn call for? Was it Robert the King or Robert his son? What do you think?
I think he... Okay, because if it was Robert the King, he got what he needed... Oh, no, wait. I don't know, because if it was Robert the King, he said what he wanted to, you know? He was like, seed strong, and then they said, like, the rest of what he said was kind of garbled.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it was Robert, he got what he said needed. But if it was his son, I think it was King Robert. Because what would be so important?
Why would the seed is strong be relevant for Robert, the king?
Well, because maybe it's the thing that Ned was talking about, where he was like, you should let him be the warden. And, like, just, like, maybe it was that same thing. Maybe he knew something about the Lannisters that we don't know yet, and he was like, I don't want them having more power than they already do. And obviously, as the Hand, he knows, like,
so, like, give the power to my son instead of the Lannisters?
Yeah.
Okay, that would make sense. Okay, the next thing was gonna be, what does the seed is strong mean?
Well, I think it's just that same thing of, like, don't, like, Lannisters, it's like my thoughts. The Lannisters are already, like, literally, like, all powerful in this world right now, and it's kind of scary. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, like, they have so much power over literally everything that's going on, so Jon was probably having those same thoughts, like, a lot, and he was like, we need to prevent this. And then I think there's also other stuff that we don't know yet that he knows. That also further is like, okay, my son is capable of this.
Okay. Got it. Now, was Jon Arryn poisoned?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Who poisoned him?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say
maybe he died because Pycelle gave him oversweetened milk, and he was like, I would rather die than drink this.
Oh my gosh! And then he actually
did go to visit him the day before.
Oh my gosh. Maybe, you know, he read something in the lineage book
and got a heart attack.
Yeah, he just like, he was like, I didn't know they were related. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Okay, let's throw a random guess out into the universe. Maybe somebody on the council poisoned him because they were mad at him about something he was saying.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. I mean, Liza claims that it was the Lannisters.
Yes.
You
See,
don't
but
think
I
so?
don't. I do think it could be the Lannisters. I just don't. I'm not like. I don't know which Lannister, so I'm just gonna go with a totally different guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody on the council.
Yes.
Who on the council? Let's think about who's on the council. So the king, Jon Arryn was there.
Barristan.
There was Pycelle, Barristan, Selmy, Varys, Littlefinger, Renly Baratheon, Stannis Baratheon.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay, maybe Varys, just for fun. Maybe Varys couldn't find out one of his secrets, and he was like, I'm mad at you, because I know everything.
Okay.
I know that's a really stupid guess, but that's my most, like, cohesive guess.
Got it. Moving on. Why did Jon Arryn want that book about the lineages?
Maybe it was just some, like, you know, fun reading. He's a smart guy. He likes to read.
Apparently it's a ponderous read, so...
It's a ponderous read, but it's about lineages.
Yeah,
maybe he's trying to see, like...
It's like, so for this person begat this person, begat this person, begat this person. Like, how is that interesting?
Yeah,
How
maybe
is that fun?
he wants to... Oh, wait, where did my... Wait, I had a thought.
Maybe he wants to...
Oh my god, what was I thinking? Oh my god, I literally don't remember. Okay, I'll think of something else because I can't remember what I was trying to think. But,
He wanted to make a family tree.
I don't think so.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe he wanted to... Maybe he's trying to, like, examine, like... Maybe he's just, like, really diplomatic and he's trying to, like, examine, like, previous lineages and see how things are going. And...
Okay.
Yeah.
This answer is, like, putting me to sleep. Moving on. What will Eddard learn from Jon Arryn's servants?
Ooh. What's he gonna learn? Probably something that points further to the Lannisters, but isn't enough proof to do anything, you know? Like, okay. Like something about
points
how,
to
like,
the Lannisters
maybe,
as,
like,
as,
like a couple, wait. As suspects.
Points to them as so far as that they poisoned Jon Arryn? Is that what?
No, as though, like, not that they poisoned, but that they had, like, reason to poison. Like, it'll just, maybe we'll find out about, like, a feud they were having, like, 2 days before he fell sick or something, you know?
Oh, okay. Got it.
Or maybe just, like, a specific argument that they had or something.
So, you know, they would find out about somebody who had reason to... Go ahead.
This is... No. I had a thought. It's so stupid.
Tell me the thought.
Okay, yeah, it's really stupid. I don't think this, okay? I thought it for the second that I was like...
Tell me!
No, I'll tell you. I'm just prefacing it. Like, when I was like, I thought it, and then I was like, oh, wait, that can't be true. I was like, what if... I was like,
you're teasing now.
No,
Get
I was like, what if Robert poisoned him? And then I was like, that's not true, Harbit. That's
Why not?
True. Because he's
the king
hand.
Was there.
But that's his, like, father
Maybe
figure.
He wanted Ned for his hand.
That's what... I don't
like,
want
he couldn't say no
you.
to... Jon Arryn wasn't letting him do all the things he wanted to do, so he was like, I'm gonna get my buddy Ned who can't say no to me.
Stop making me think it's... Stop.
I'm just making all the arguments.
You always gaslight me. You are always... It's crazy. Okay.
I'm not gaslighting you. I'm making... That's... Do you really feel that way? Because I don't...
No. I'm kidding.
Okay, because I am just trying to make
I know,
all sides
but
of every argument.
It just stresses me out, because I'm like, wait, now I'm confused. I think I know something, but I don't.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, maybe your thought was an intelligent thought and you just dismissed it. Okay, moving on. In your opinion, get ready to have some thoughts. Mm-hmm. Can Ned trust Littlefinger?
To a degree.
Like, what does that mean?
He can... I don't think that right now he's, like, leading him into this trap, you know? So he can trust him, like, he can trust him in terms of his, like, information and everything, but I think... Oh, my gosh. But obviously, like, if Catelyn didn't say what she said, like, he would have tried to make Ned miserable. Obviously, you know? So it's kind of like... Even though, like, because of Catelyn, he's gonna help Ned, he doesn't have... He doesn't
like Ned.
He doesn't like Ned, and...
But how, like, you know, telling somebody you'll help their husband because you love that somebody, or, you know, once loved that somebody, doesn't that overpower, like, some dislike of the husband?
Well, no. Because you can help someone without... having
so he can or he can't trust Littlefinger?
He can trust Littlefinger. For now.
Okay.
For now.
And at what point should he stop trusting Littlefinger?
Maybe when it's not related to, like, the deaths and the investigations.
So he can trust him all during the investigation, and
yes.
And whatever information Littlefinger brings him will be the right information.
Yes. Tentative, yes.
And once they've figured it out, he can be like, thanks for your help. See you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, because I think at that point he's just gonna try to gaslight him.
Okay.
Just annoy him, like...
All right. Okay, that was a lot of predictions. Now, on to the next chapters. Oh my god. Sorry. Just, like, thinking about them.
Oh, are they good chapters?
Well, Well, I won't say anything.
Okay, well, if you're happy, it's probably not something, like, awful.
I can't say that all chapters are created equal.
Ah. Okay.
So, we've got chapters 26, 27, and 28 next time.
Okay.
You ready to write this down?
Okay.
So, the first chapter is Jon 4.
Okay.
And then we have... Actually, tell me what we're going to see with Jon first. And then we'll...
Well, maybe he's like, I want to go save Benjen, cause I'm a hero. But then he's like, but I have a duty here. I'm teaching these people. Sir Alistair can't do shit. You know?
Okay, and what is he actually gonna do?
He's gonna stay. But he's gonna be, he's gonna maybe, I don't know, he's gonna stay, but he's gonna want to go. And then maybe Sir Alistair is gonna be like, maybe you should go. Your uncle's there.
Okay.
And then I don't know why I said it in such a like maybe that I was thinking I had my
think
thoughts,
faster.
No, I'm going to think at my speed. See, now I lost my thought.
Moving on. Was it an important thought?
I don't think so. Probably not.
Okay. So Jon is gonna, be divided between looking for his uncle and staying at the wall, but eventually he's gonna stay at the wall.
Yes.
And he's gonna train people.
Yes. Maybe no. I was like, maybe once they're all strong enough, they can go together, but, like, the kings, they barely have 1,000 people. They can't, They can't send out a whole search party.
Okay, chapter 27 is Eddard 6.
Ooh, Eddard. Okay.
So, what's gonna happen with him? See what I meant by, like, every other chapter sometimes is the same character and then you have to divide them up like this?
Yeah. Okay, Eddard is gonna get some information. Eddard's gonna see Arya training with the water dancer guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna follow up on some leads.
Yeah.
And that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, well, the tourney's coming up.
Yes, it is.
How long did they say the tourney was in the last chapter?
They didn't really.
Okay, well, tourney's gonna happen. There we go.
Next chapter?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And chapter 28 is Catelyn 5.
Oh my god, finally! I was literally worried. I was like, is she dead?
Why did you think she was dead?
I don't know, because we just, like,
she's on her way back to Winterfell.
I know, but we didn't get a point of view. Usually when people are traveling, we get their point of view, so we know they didn't die.
Well, this is a point of view.
Yay! Yay, Catelyn.
So, is she gonna be on her way? Is she gonna be in Winterfell?
I'm on my way. Okay, she's gonna get to Winterfell at the end of the chapter. Like, she'll be, like, on her last leg of the journey.
Okay.
Like, end of the chapter, she's gonna get to Winterfell, and she's gonna, like, see Bran, and she's gonna be like, oh my gosh! And then she's gonna see, like, Tyrion and them leaving as she gets there.
Oh, but Tyrion said that they're leaving, like, the next day.
Well, that's
so
true.
She's gonna get there that soon?
Probably not. Okay,
like, the journey from the Wall to Winterfell is, like, 3 weeks. But, like, from King's Landing to Winterfell is, like, months.
Yeah.
Like, a month, I think.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay, fine. Maybe, Tyrion's gone and everything, but she's gonna... I don't know. I think she's just gonna get to Winterfell and be like, Bran!
Okay, but what are we gonna see on the way?
On the way?
Like, Tyrion's heading down to King's Landing, and she's heading up to to Winterfell.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right!
Are they gonna, is Tyrion gonna have to, hide, or is she gonna have to hide?
Oh my god, they could have a confrontation. But obviously, like, Catelyn is obviously more, like, controlled than Robb was.
Right.
So
she's
you know
gonna...
what? Yeah. You know what?
So
yeah,
she's gonna get mad at Tyrion and then make her way to Winterfell?
No. I think she's gonna be like, hey, Tyrion, what you up to?
If she runs into Tyrion.
Yeah. And then Tyrion's gonna be like, yeah, I just helped Bran. And she's gonna be like, you just helped Bran? That's interesting. And they're gonna be like, bye, have a great day.
Okay. All right. So passive aggressiveness.
Yes.
Got it. I think that's everything. Do you have anything to add?
No.
We are like, it's like an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
You kept thinking so slow. I was like, get a move on.
I can't control my thinking speed.
Okay. Anyway, nothing? You got nothing else?
No. We good.
Okay. So, what do you think of this book so far?
It's good. I like
Is it getting better? Come on. Can you not just... Aren't you like... Really, I know you don't care, but I can't wait to read the next chapters.
Things are getting more interesting. We're certainly not just waiting around for things to happen anymore.
We definitely are not. Ah!
Oh my god.
In like a couple 3-ish weeks, we're gonna be like halfway through the book.
Oh my god. That's so good.
I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so in the meantime, everybody, come chat with us wherever you chat with people online. Our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com. And that's everything. Until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.